Everyone, welcome back to our 30-day SQL series. In today's session, we are going to learn about an important concept in SQL constraints in MySQL. So let's understand what are constraints. So constraints in database are the rules, or we can say are the conditions that has to be met for data to be inserted, updated, or deleted in a database table. Okay, so these constraints are used to enforce the integrity of the data that is stored in a database, and it also prevent data from becoming inconsistent or corrupted. SQL constraints are used to specify rules for the data in a table. So while creating a table, we'll give us specific rules for the table. Okay, constraints are used to limit the type of data that can go into a table. So this ensures the accuracy and reliability of the data in the table. If there is any violation between the constraints and the data action, the action is aborted. Okay, constraints can be column level or table level. Column level constants apply to a column, and the table level constant apply to the whole table. Okay, so in a simple one word, if I want to tell you here is constraints are the rules we apply for our table or the column here. Okay, the following constraints are commonly used in SQL. First, let me tell you the not null, unique, primary key, auto increment, foreign key, check, and the default here. So, what is this not null? So, not null means it ensures that a column cannot have a null values. We cannot have it or null values. Then the unique, it ensures that all the values in a column are different. Then we have a primary key, a combination of a not null and a uniquely identifies each row in a table. Okay, so that primary key. So auto increment, it increment the automatic value in table. Foreign key prevents action that would destroy links between the tables. Check ensures that the values in a column satisfies a specific condition. Default sets a default value for a column if no value is specified. So now let us look at the example for this is the example one for the not null. So while creating a table, so this is here we have a create table student details. Okay. So and I'm creating a column student ID integer not null. We cannot have a null value for the ID here. And the student name varchar 255, and even this column should not be null here. So student mobile varchar and student city varchar here. Okay, so let's perform this example in our MySQL workbench. Let's get started. We have it. So I have already created a database, a college database here. If you doesn't know how to create a college database, you just have to click on this database here. Okay, you get a new schema here. You can give it a name for the schema here. Okay, and you just have to click on the apply, then you'll get a finish option. Okay, that's it. So I just don't want to do here. I just want to create a table. So let me start writing a query here. So I'm creating a table name. The table name we can say student details. Okay. So the schema, that is a database, is a college here. Inside this database, I'm creating a table name as student details. Now apply. Click on the apply here. There is an error while applying the SQL script to the database. Here we have to give it a column names here. Okay, let's give it a column names. So what was our column here? Will be the student ID. Okay, so student ID, we have it here. ID, and the data type we are giving it here, it is not null. Okay, not the primary key, not null. Then we are going to create the other column name here, that is a student name. name and the varchar, and even it should be not null here. Okay. Then we are creating a student mobile number, mobile varchar, and I'm not giving any data type here. And now we are creating a student city underscore city, and I'm not giving any data type here. Okay, so I have given the data type only for the not null. The constraints I have used here is not null, and the for the student ID and the student name I have given a not null. Okay, so now let's click on the apply, and the finish here. Okay, so you just have to refresh it here. Under the table, you can see on the left side, top left side, the table has been created. When you click on it, the table, you can see the student ID, student name, student mobile, and student city has been created. Okay, and you got a query stating select star from college dot student details. Okay, so this is how we created a table. So here it should not be the null value, so we cannot have a null values for the student ID and the student name. We are giving the rules for the ID and the name here. Okay. So now let us look at the next example here. Yes, this is the example 2 we have it. So in the example 2, we have to give it a unique. So create table persons ID in not null unique. You have to give it. Last name varchar and the not null. The last name should not be null. First name varchar, age int. Okay. So this is the example. So the same thing you can just create it in the MySQL workbench. Now here the example 3, we have a primary key. So here it helps you to create the table person ID in not null, last name varchar not null. Okay, not null. First name varchar 255, age in primary key ID. So these are the rules I have given. So the integer, the ID should not be the null value, and the last name should not be the null value here. Okay, and the age is the primary key I have given it here. So now, so this age is a primary key because so every age will have a. Yes, so like for the age, I have given a primary key. So every age will have a unique and a non-empty ID. So that's the reason. So we are giving a age here. Okay. Then the next, we have a auto increment. The same thing, create student tables, ID integer, primary key we are giving. Auto increment, see why we are giving an auto increment here is because each new order will automatically get a see this each new ID will get automatically gets a number. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So auto increment. So that's the reason we use a auto increment here. Then the student name varchar not null, email ID varchar not null, student mobile not null, city not null. Okay. Now here we have it in example 5. It's a check. So this constraint ensures that the value in a column satisfies a specific condition. Okay. So now I'm creating a table name student details, ID integer primary key, auto increment, student name varchar, not null, student age integer check. We are giving a we have to check it here if the age is greater than 80, and we are using a and operator here, and the age should be less than 30. All right. So here we are checking this. Then here for the sixth one, we have a default. So this sets a default value for a column if no value is provided. So if any of the column is empty, so it will give you a default value. All right. So here for the gender varchar, we have given a default as a male, default value as a male here. Next, the last one, we have a foreign key constraint. So here we'll be creating a two table. This is the table when one where I have a customer's ID integer primary key auto increment. So I don't have to give it every time the one. So it will take it as auto increment. Name varchar, it should not be the null value. Email ID, it should not be the null value, and it should be unique. We cannot have a repeated values for this. Okay. Now for the table two here is we are going to create the table orders ID, integer primary key, auto increment, integer not null, order ID, date and time not null, constraints, okay, orders, foreign key we are using it, references, customers. It has to take the references from our previous table, that is our table one, the customer table one here. All right. So that's a quick overview of constraints in MySQL. Not null, unique, primary key, auto increment, check, default, and foreign key. These constraints are very important for maintaining accuracy and consistency in our database. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and also hit the bell icon so you don't miss the upcoming videos in our 30-day SQL series. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Take care.